I just want to let you guys know ahead of time. I have a 4-minute version of this video. So I'm going to try and make a shorter version of this video now with this one. And the idea is that sometimes in order to help someone, you need to walk with them towards their road to destruction. Not necessarily to say that you need to suffer the consequences as well. And sometimes it might be worth it for you to take the chance, to take the risk if you really care about them. But sometimes we need to understand that we speak from a place of privilege when we tell someone to do something or not to do something. And not even in a material sense, but sometimes just with regards to what it took for us to understand this idea and thought that we have that we're trying to share with someone, right? So sometimes you can have someone who wants to end themselves, for example, and they're walking towards a bridge, and you might try to be steadfast in your position, plant your feet on the ground and be like, I'm not walking with you towards that direction. You need to turn around because this is horrible. I'm going to miss you. Oh, these people are going to miss you. Oh, this and that. Oh, this and that, right? You understand this because one, you're not in that person's shoes, and two, because you probably understand something else. You understand that things are going to get better, right? You have this idea that things are going to get better, and there's a reason why you understand that they don't understand it. When you just tell them things are going to get better, that's just a vague idea and thought to that person. So sometimes you need to walk with them towards that direction, trying to convince them not to do it. You don't have to jump off the bridge with them, right? But sometimes you have to be patient when you want to help someone. If they really matter that much to you, if they really are your friend or loved one to that extent, you need to walk with them towards that direction. Not all the way, but maybe at least some of the way. Because most of the time, people just be shouting from across the road, or they just be shouting from a distance, trying to get these thoughts and ideas into this person. But it's a lot more complicated than that. You have no idea how long it took for you to understand this. You have no idea. Sometimes you have no idea what it took for you to understand and fully grasp this thing. And that person doesn't have that. And sometimes maybe you won't be able to wait 5 years for this idea to fully settle in this person's mind, the same way it took you 5 years to realize it. But it's definitely not going to happen with you just saying a couple sentences and like some powerful quotes and thinking that, wow, it's going to change this person's mind. Does that make sense? So yeah, you can also think about it as something with a lot of momentum, right? That's moving towards one direction. Sometimes the best way to slow it down, or the best way to make it look at the right direction, which is maybe the opposite direction, isn't just to turn it around, right? Because if something is moving very, very quickly towards a wall, for example, and then you turn it around, it's still moving toward, because like all the momentum is pushing it in one direction. So it's still going to be it's still going to be moving towards that direction. Now it's just facing you. So now it can't even avoid or evade anything that's in front of it because it's looking at you. So you have just disoriented it. Does that make sense? You just applied disorientation to the thing, and now it won't be able to pivot correctly, right? As opposed to moving towards that direction, but then slowly trying to add weight, trying to slow it down so that eventually it goes to a stop. And then once it stops, then you start moving towards the opposite direction, right? Then you turn around. So sometimes some of these things are not that simple. And you need to understand that if you want to help someone, it's going to take some time. And you shouldn't just think that you're going to drop some gems upon them and then it's going to change their mind. Humans are a lot more complicated than that. Life is just a lot more complicated than that. I hope that makes sense.